What's happening everyone, the neckbeardstories here, and today we have a couple of stories from r/neckbeardstories. Now these stories are by Moonhorse, yes, that Moonhorse. The Moonhorse that narrates stories on YouTube, just like me. Now I've been given express permission from him to read these stories, so I want to thank him for that. And if you want to check out his channel, the link will be in the description below. That being said, let's dive in to some neckbeard cringe. This is my first time posting here, or on Reddit at all, for that matter, so please excuse my shitty everything. I want to tell you the story of a guy I know. I want to tell you about Kay. Granted, I won't tell you all the stories now. If you guys want to know more, I am totally game to tell you more. I have so fucking many of them. I met him through another friend way back in high school. See, I moved to this shitty little town with my family, and I didn't know anyone, so when someone wanted to be friends with me, I was all about it. First was this guy I used to be friends with. He was super into Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. I didn't get it, but if it makes dude happy, I'm game. One day, dude was like, "Oh, I know a guy who lives right near your new house. You should meet him, he's cool." That's how I was introduced to Kay. Kay was a neckbeard in the making at that point, but I'd never met one, so fuck off I knew what a neckbeard was or anything. Back then, he was really thin, but he had this crazy wavy hair that he hardly washed, and could comb down with his own natural grease. Made myself sick with that one. Sorry. He wore the same few outfits all the time too. Low gap cargo pants and very generic "this was a gift from a family member who honestly knows nothing about me" shirts. We all have that one shirt, don't lie. All I knew is that dude had some serious issues with anger, people, and video games. He was living with his grandmother back then, and still is I believe, and she had rules about how long he could play games and all that. At the time, this struck me as really odd, since he was 16 when we met. I later found out that if it wasn't for these rules about games, he would never stop playing them, like, ever. As in at one point, she had to take his game controllers and lock them up so he couldn't get to them, or he wouldn't do any of his schoolwork. Once he knew where I lived, one of the things he'd do is he would come over to hang out. This means he'd show up with whatever PS2 game he got and his memory card, and co-opt my fucking system for hours. No amount of coercing would get him off of the fucking thing. I witnessed him play Dirge of Cerberus for, no joke, 5 hours. The whole time it was the best game ever. The only way to make him stop, I learned, was to tell him that my mum was getting pissed, and in some cases she totally was, and he'd have to go. So just for some basic clarity, I'm older than Kay by a few years. I was out of school long before he was, and I'll never forget this. One time, at fucking 9 in the morning, someone starts ringing my doorbell and knocking on the door. I was passed the fuck out, as one does when one has an off day from work, and I was justifiably pissed/confused about who the hell is freaking out on my porch. I open the door, and lo and behold, it's Kay. He fucking skipped school to come over and play games because he really wanted to play the new Inuyasha fighting game, but he couldn't because his grandmother was, and I quote, being a total bitch. I was fucking floored. Not because he cut school. Shit, I did that all the time. But because that's what our friendship had come to. I was a utility service for him to play fucking shitty video games. I told him I was not in the mood for having company, and he'd have to go. Now, when Kay doesn't get his way, two things happen, depending on who you are. With me, I'm bigger than him, not by a lot, granted, but I guess enough to be imposing. Bullshit. However, if he thought he was above you, he'd fly into an impotent rage, the likes of which I've never witnessed outside of a much younger sibling trying to convince me of the terrorist-like behaviour of withholding a cookie. He'd scream, stomp, throw things, and then sulk off somewhere to quietly seethe about how not being able to play Final Fantasy was going to kill him. I didn't get that. What he did with me was he'd huff and puff and sigh and say things like, "Oh well, I just, really wanted to play this game,
I guess I never will.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard him do that shit. It's fucking infuriating. Makes you want to slap the bastard. The next time he pulled the knocking on the door and showing up unannounced shit, I didn't answer the door, thinking I was fucking Joe Smartman over here. I'm a fucking moron. Never underestimate the power of an obsessed neckbeard. He was out there, knocking on the door, for a fucking hour. An hour. Holy shit, man. I can't even. Now, so far, he only ticks a few of the neckbeard boxes. But once I got to know him more, shit really hit the fan, and all the boxes get filled fast. It was only after knowing him for a few months that he decided to confide in me about his fanfiction. It is exactly what you think it is. Lots of anime girls who have to be rescued from horrible villains by obvious self-insert Gary Stew guys who then, of fucking course, get the girl. I can think of the plot of several of them, mainly because they have the same plot, but they were always about subjects like Inuyasha or Yu-Gi-Oh! And a few of them were about wrestling, which I didn't think anyone even watched anymore. The more you fucking know. The one that sticks out the most was that he wrote several stories about this girl he had a thing for. She was real. Real people in his fanfic. It was super cringy and awkward. This girl, whom we'll call Mel, sure. She was kinda popular from what I understood. I never met her. We didn't go to the same school or anything. I later learned from some friends that Kay and I have in common. He hardly knows her as well. He mostly just loved her from afar. He legit said that once. And wrote really creepy sex fictions about her. If there was a game where you could make a female character, he made Mel. And himself. And they were, totally in love. One time back when Midnight Club 3 was still big, so now haha I'm so fucking funny, he insisted on using my file to make some cars. I'm okay with that, mainly because unlocking takes time, and I know what it's like to be frustrated when you want to make something. So he made two. One was an El Camino because he really wants one. I don't know why. And the other was some really over the top Lambo that, in his words,
This is for Mel. I put her name on it and everything. She'll have to love me now.
what the fuck? But how do you know all these things? You ask, confused as to why I could have such horrible information stored in my head. Oh, I know, because Kay would constantly break his laptop and he'd guilt me into fixing it. So, combine a little, I don't want to fix this fucker's laptop with the 900 desktop icons, monster, and the creepy hentia wallpaper for the 50th fucking time. With curiosity, and generally kinda a little shit. And you have my digging. See, his PC was virused to fuck all and back. And it was a matter of time before this motherfucker just caught fire. So while the antivirus was pushing that boulder up a hill for the millionth time, I went digging. He saved all kind of stuff, a lot of porn and porn games. Guess where the viruses came from? I know, you're fucking shocked. But also, a lot of chat logs. I shouldn't have done it. A better man wouldn't have done it. An honest man would say no. Fuck it. I opened and read them all. I bit my tongue so fucking hard, I'm shocked I can still talk. These are gold. I didn't read in depth while there, but I emailed them all to myself for study later. I don't think I still have them, but on that day I learned some things about Kay. He likes anime girls. He likes making real women into anime girls. He's always King Hero. He likes tentacles. And he really likes anal. Oh boy. It was like learning that your best friend, whom you've known for years, has been on meth the whole time, but with butt stuff and tentacle monsters. That, boys and girls, is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm only glossing over some stuff because, man, there are places to go into detail. Let me know if you want more, and I'll totally tell you more. I was gonna wait longer, but I've been going nuts over this one. I've told people over and over that this guy exists, and every time they are shocked and don't believe it, but I assure you, this is real. I introduced you to Kay. Now I'm going to tell you about another beardo. More than that, He wasn't just a typical beardo. He was, and still is, Kay's absolute worst enemy. Gather round, lovelies. It's fucking story time. First off, the name. Mew. Like the MMO game. Why that? He had this fucking obscene obsession with that game. He would tell me about it for fucking hours. So many stories about how this weapon was plus this, plus that, plus whatever. Look, I never played that game. Never had an interest in MMO games. If you or anyone does, that's cool. But you don't just assume that everyone in the world knows what you're talking about right off, do you? No one does that shit. Mew did. Oh god, he did. Let's step back a bit and I'll describe how we met and what I had to put up with while knowing this dude. I met Mew through a family friend. He, his brother, and his parents were moving, and they needed someone to help with the heavy lifting. That's where I come in. I needed the cash, and fuck it, easy job. It was on this day that I was first introduced to Mew. He's older than me by at least 7 years. I was about 19 at the time we met, putting him roughly at the 26 range. When I met him, he was dressed in this really stained old t-shirt, a pair of faded cargo shorts with a huge hole developing right where the left ass pocket would be, and the fucking mandals. If you like to wear sandals, cool. If you like to wear them from time to time, that's fine. He wore the same filthy mandals every fucking day. He wore them everywhere. He never had shoes, just these nasty foot cages that couldn't keep anything out or anything in. This was a problem, for there are two things you notice when you meet Mew for the first time. One, he doesn't look like he's had a bath in almost a month. Two, that's 100% correct, because the fucking smell would knock you down. He smelled. Always. He never bathed. I only know that he never bathed, and it wasn't some kind of problem because he would talk about it like it was a thing to be proud of. I don't need to waste water every day. Actual thing he said once. No shit. He didn't just not bathe. Oh no no. He didn't clean of any kind. He wore the same clothes for a week straight. All the time. His room was a disaster. It was always full of things jammed into every corner. Just weird junk. Old mattresses, boxes of books that were slowly turning into dust, computer parts from computers that were new back in 91. So on, so on. One time, he got a cat. I don't know where he got a cat, he just had a cat one day. He kept the cat, food, and litter box in his room. Not too terrible, until you realise he never emptied the litter box. It was overflowing, you guys. I have nearly vomited several times when I had to go over there. He had a million stories, all of which he had to tell you. And that was a problem, because it's always the motherfuckers who don't brush their damn teeth who want to tell you fucking secrets, ain't it? These were stories, and they were all the kind of story that you didn't really want to tell polite mates company. The kind of keep it to yourself shit. I'ma tell you some. Buckle in. It gets weirder from here down. He had to tell me once that back when he was in high school, he went through a gay phase. That phrase pissed me off, but he can never get a word in with this motherfucker, so he kept talking. I had to hear about his ex-boyfriend's pierced dangler. I didn't want to hear about that, you guys. He went into graphic detail about how amazing it was. I made several excuses about having to leave and bolted like someone set my fucking ass on fire. I also had to hear about, in detail, how much he couldn't stand his ma. Time out, real quick. Someone comment on this. Is it totally normal for neckbeards to hate whomever is supporting their broke ass? That seems to be a common thing I'm noticing with these dudes, or is it just me? Oh, she was the worst and made him do horrible things like take out the trash and not play on the computer all day and look for a job. You know, the usual totalitarian orders. Now, don't get me wrong, his family was weird. His mum was a mega hoarder. So maybe his craziness and nastiness came natural. But still, even with other people telling him that maybe he should bathe and wash clothes, he ignored all that. Anyone who told him to improve his personal hygiene so that the rest of the room didn't have to smell him was just being a prude. Now, we all know that most, if not all beardos have problems with women. Mew had mega problems with women, alright. Just before I met him, he had a girlfriend. How he managed that, I'll never know. Now, this chick was kinda just as nasty as he was, but I guess that worked out for them. I don't know. Now, they lived together, you guessed it, in his parents' house. They shared a room, while on the other end of this place, his parents shared a room. Lovely. They did eventually split up. That I was there for. He said it was because she was making unbelievably high demands of him. She was asking him to clean, take care of things, and eventually move out of his parents' house. That's too much, man! Now, as I mentioned before, I'm in South Louisiana, which means so is he. This girl, however, is from Georgia. She moved here to be with him, and he was fine with the two of them mooching off his parents, but he'll be goddamned if he's gotta stop playing Mew for 17 hours a day. So, this girl, away from family, does the thing he couldn't do for almost 15 years. She got a job and moved the fuck out. Cut all ties with him and never spoke to him again. Holy shit, the system ain't broke, it's just him. That's the one girl. There's another. This story is disturbing. I mean that. This is your warning. He had a thing for another girl, one I met because she was the half sister of a buddy of mine. We met when I was about 20 and she was about 16. Bud's kid's sister, so I say hi, be polite. The usual meeting the family of your friend routine. We'll call her Jay. I'm just telling you this to tell you a story. You see, kids, later on, Mew was introduced to Jay. Mew, now roughly in his 30s, came over one night to my buddy's place with me to have a little party. The kinda, I need to rearrange my room, but I'll pay you in beer kinda party. Sounded like a good trade, so my ass was there. Mew was complaining about how no one was talking to him on his game and needed someone to talk to. I made the mistake of saying where I was going, and he was totally one to go now too. Oh joy, I get trapped in a car with Captain Pitstein. It's a short drive, thankfully. The whole way I had to hear about how he got this armor that's made of this stuff, that's this, plus that, plus who fucking cares. Nod and smile, nod and smile. We get to my buddy's place and it's kinda dark. As we get out, here comes this car. Out of the car pops Jay, and she lets us in the house. The whole time Jay is letting us in and talking, Mew doesn't say shit. He's silent as a fucking grave. This scares me. He's never fucking quiet. Jay tells my buddy that we're here, and we start talking about where we're moving what. After a bit, we're on it. Bed goes here, TV stand there, bookcase over on that wall, so on. In the middle of this, Jay pops in again, wanting to see what we're all doing because, well, she's bored. She decides to be cool and help us out, so we get shit done faster. After that, Buddy hands me and Mew a beer. We're laughing, talking, so on. Still, Mew is eerily silent. It hits me. But I ignore it for a bit. Then it hits me again. Harder. It can't be. Can it? Nah, I must be crazy. I'm not. Mew has a thing for her. Mew has a thing for a teenage girl. Hello, Chris Hansen. Wanna come grab a beer? Also, help! Jay leaves the room. Mew says he needs something from the car. Neither come back for a bit. I go see what the fuck Mew's doing. He never made it to the car. He has this kid in the hall bragging to her how he's strong and really popular on his fucking game. Let's run down the list. A. Don't flirt with teenagers, you fucking creep. B. People don't care about how great you are at a game that they've never heard or even play. C. Don't flirt with teenagers, you fucking creep. I tell Jade our brother needs our help. Some bullshit about a TV. She gives me a look of, thank you so much, and goes off. I grab Mew like we're gonna go get something from the car and confront him outside. I'm losing it at this point. What the fuck are you doing? Nothing, I was just talking to her. Dude, no, you tried to put the moves on a teenage girl. I wasn't, no. I saw you, you had all cornered in the hall and getting way too close. Look man, she was into it, she likes me. That doesn't make it okay, fuck not. We're leaving. Pfft, whatever, you're just jealous that she was into me. Yeah, you're totally right, get in the fucking car. I drop his ass at home, get myself home, and manage to do so without killing the bastard. Not more than 10 minutes in my door, the phone is ringing. It's Jay's brother, and he's pissed. Jay told him everything about Mew's creepy, stinky flirting techniques. I apologise and smooth things over between him and I. But he tells me that if he ever sees Mew again, he'll kill him. Personally, I don't blame him, but I don't want to go to jail for knowing about it, so I calm him down again. See, Mew thought he was a tall ladies' man. He thought he was the hottest of hot shit. You've read how I described him. Now imagine that stinky, greasy mess wanting to get all up on you and tell you about how hot he thinks you are. I should have warned you all that you'd probably need a bucket to read this. I lost contact with him for a long, long time. He moved to Noah to do something. I have no idea what. I don't want to know. The less I know, the better. Now, you'd think that this is where the story ends. No, no. He called me, and then he talked for 2 hours straight. I had to hear about his new job and how he lives somewhere near a park and how he likes to go there because it's nice and it's where all these really hot women go to work out and stuff. Yeah, he called to tell me about how he purrs on strangers in a park. Lovely. I think my insides need bleaching. He also felt that, at that point, it was time to confess some things. He told me that he tried to get in touch with Jay after the whole, as he put it, misunderstanding. I was sure that that totally had to have ended well. I don't know what's wrong with everyone, man. I mean, she was totally into me. I don't see anything wrong with that. Of course you don't, Mew. Of course you don't. That was disturbing, but this was weird and disturbing. Well, maybe just to me. He had to tell me that he, at one time, had some huge crush on me and how he totally wanted to sex me up. I have never wanted to set my skin on fire before, but now I know exactly how that feels. God, please, no, please. That, thankfully, was crushed because I'm not bi anymore, this is faith. I'm born again and it's all gone. You're born again pure through faith, totally do good because of Jesus. And you still perv on women in the park. What the fuck? Now, at the beginning of this, I told you all that Kay and Mew hated each other. There was an epic war between them, but that, my lovelies, is a story for another day.